The Middle East, there existed a long-standing conflict between two groups of people, the Arabs and the Israelis. This story takes us through the tumultuous history of their conflict, a tale filled with tragedy, hope, and the enduring human spirit. Welcome to AudioScribe. What we do is, we do tell stories. We appreciate your graciousness in subscribing the channel. If you like the video, please do like, comment and share it. Our story begins in the late 19th century when a movement called Zionism emerged among Jewish communities around the world. Zionists believed in the establishment of a Jewish homeland in the historic region of Palestine, which was then part of the Ottoman Empire. This dream started to take shape as Jewish immigrants began settling in Palestine. In the early 20th century, World War I erupted, and the Ottoman Empire crumbled. The British Empire took control of Palestine under a League of Nations mandate, and tensions between Arab and Jewish communities in the region began to rise. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, issued by the British government, supported the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, further fueling the conflict. As time passed, more Jewish immigrants arrived in Palestine, and the population of Jewish settlers grew. This led to clashes with the Arab majority, who feared being marginalized in their own land. Tensions reached a breaking point in 1947 when the United Nations proposed a partition plan to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international administration. The UN plan was accepted by the Jewish leadership but rejected by the Arab states and Palestinian Arabs. In 1948, the State of Israel was declared, and neighboring Arab nations, including Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Iraq, invaded, marking the beginning of the First Arab-Israeli War. The conflict resulted in a ceasefire in 1949, with Israel gaining more territory than initially proposed by the UN partition plan. Over the decades that followed, the conflict continued to simmer, with wars erupting in 1956, 1967, and 1973. The Six-Day War in 1967 saw Israel capture the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem, among other territories, leading to a prolonged occupation of these areas and further inflaming tensions. In the years that followed, there were moments of hope, like the Camp David Accords in 1978 and the Oslo Accords in 1993, which aimed to establish a framework for peace. However, the road to peace proved treacherous, marked by acts of terrorism, uprisings, and continued violence. The conflict also sparked the rise of militant groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, which added complexity to the situation. These groups launched attacks on Israeli territory, further straining efforts to achieve lasting peace. Despite all the pain and suffering endured by both sides, there have been glimmers of hope. Many individuals and organizations, both Israeli and Palestinian, have tirelessly worked towards peaceful coexistence and a two-state solution, where Israel and Palestine can live side by side in peace and security. The story of the Arab-Israeli conflict is a complex one, filled with deep-rooted historical, political, and religious factors. It continues to unfold today, as people on both sides strive for a future where peace and prosperity can replace the long history of conflict and turmoil in this troubled land.